My first pick was Aaron Rodgers.
My first pick was Tom Brady.
Matthew Stafford, baby.
My first pick was Ray Rice.
My first pick was Drew Brees.
My first pick was Darren McFadden. I felt like I needed a quarterback. I took Matthew Stafford.
I had the first overall pick in the draft. I went Ray Rice, had a big year last year, and I'm expecting big things again.
I don't think it's changed the game on the field. I believe it's done a great job at introducing people to the game of football and have them have a different interest.
Absolutely, it has had an effect because you take a look at some of the defensive rules now. Defensive backs can't touch the wide receivers like they've been able to in the past. Defenses can't dominate games like they've had to. Why? Because fans want to see points. Fans want to get excited.
Oh, not on the field, no. I mean, reality is always a little different from the fantasy aspect of it and stuff, but I think it's gotten a lot more people involved.
Fantasy football is an escape. It brings people together. I remember the first fantasy league I ever did was 1994. 18 years later, I'm still friends with a lot of these people. So it's one of those things where winning and losing is not always a big deal, but making friends and hanging out and having fun during the football season. And let's face it, if your team is terrible and your favorite team is 0-4, 0-5, well, get your fantasy team to look forward to.
I think it's just that the ability to be a general manager.
Time to go back to the drawing board.
And build their own team. I think it's exciting for a lot of people.
When my career started to take off is when fantasy football kind of took off. And for about 5 years, I was like the number one pick in fantasy football. So and it was new to us as players. So I would go into stadiums and opponent stadiums and people would say to me, hey Marshall, man, I want you to do well, but I want us to win. And I'm like, you want me to what? I'm going to go Peyton. You know, Peyton gets to call his own plays. He gets to call his own numbers. He's running the offense, the same offense that he ran in Indy. I believe as the hunted, down as the Giants are going to be this year, being the Super Bowl champs, they're going to do a lot of running the football. And for Peyton and what they do, I mean, Peyton is going to have more opportunities to throw the football and call his own plays and put himself in a situation. And he has something to prove. He wants everyone to know, like, he's not the little brother.
Eli, I think, is the best quarterback in the game. If you're talking non-fantasy, what the guy's done, what he does during the regular season, his postseason accomplishments, you can't argue with. But fantasy-wise, Peyton's got a big chip on his shoulder. He doesn't want Eli getting all these headlines, people telling him he's done for a year. You'll never come back. You'll never be Peyton Manning. Indianapolis is cutting bait on you because they like Andrew Luck. He's got so much at stake. He wouldn't be back if he wasn't healthy. He's going to have a huge season this year, and they're going to throw the football. The one thing the Giants do, they run the football a lot. That's kind of their identity. But all the Broncos are going to do is throw. They're going to be in a lot of close games, a lot of games they're behind because they have a tough schedule this year. Peyton is going to be the better fantasy quarterback, but Eli's become the best quarterback in the game. Quarterback is easily the most important position. The NFL's become a quarterback-driven league now. It used to be running backs were important because they were the guys that carried the football 25, 30 times a game, but now they don't do that anymore. Quarterbacks throw the ball 40, 50 times, throw for 5,000 yards. You have to have a really good quarterback if you're going to win.
I believe LaShawn McCoy is going to continue that breakout year. I look for Steven Jackson to bounce back. You know, their offensive line is looking really good. I look for a guy like Cam Newton to really jump into that upper echelon of quarterbacks. If John Skelton is the quarterback, if he gets to start, you are going to see Larry Fitzgerald try to get his title back from Megatron. Him and Calvin Johnson, that's the number one receiver, is going to be huge.
Sleeper picks. I like Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, Cincinnati Bengals. I think he's going to be just like Cedric Benson, 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns. I think quarterback-wise, Matt Ryan is a huge guy. I think he could have a Matt Stafford breakout type year this year, 40 touchdowns, 5,000 yards. Those are a couple of guys I'm all in on this year. So Matt Ryan, throw the football a ton. Don't hand it off to Michael Turner anymore.